Advanced Studio Classroom is on the air. Advance for 2009 has some interesting articles, and we're finishing the levity effect. Are we having fun yet today? Hey, are we having fun yet, everybody?
Are we having fun?
Are we?
Of course,
Yeah, we're
always.
having fun.
Oh, my goodness, it's not New Year's, is it? Well, we still have the Lunar New Year coming, Hazel.
I'm waiting for that.
Are you going to have fun then?
Oh, yeah, I like to have fun.
But you know, our article on Are We Having Fun Yet is not talking about what we do weekends. It's talking about in the office. Thanks for being with us these first few days of January. Hazel, you're lots of fun to be with.
Oh, thank you. I brought that horn so you'd know it was
now,
true.
You know, calm down. There.
Okay. Should I take my clown nose off, too?
Yeah, I do. I think so, yeah, and your clown
right.
outfit. It's too bad we don't have TV. Well, who else is going to be with us today to have fun in our classroom?
Well, we've got two people that their names sound alike, so that's kind of fun, isn't it?
That is fun.
We have Brian and Ryan.
Hey, Brian and
Hello.
Ryan, are you twins? No.
Twins, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You're not in the same family. Well, Brian,
Long-lost twins.
you know, Brian is on a lot of our skits, isn't he? In
He sure
Studio
is.
Classroom?
He helps out a lot with Studio Classroom skits.
But also he has another job, which is Cyber Village, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And how's Cyber Village coming along? You're getting along in your virtual reality world with avatars?
Yes. Yes. Moving around and talking to other avatars and having a good time.
Well, that's a very fun program, too. Besides Let's Talk and Studio Classroom in advance, we have Cyber Village, and there's a producer.
Yay!
Brian.
There you go again.
Brian, you also do some of our readings for us for advance, too.
I love doing that.
All right.
Yeah.
And you like to have fun, Brian, don't you?
I do. And that's a key part of this company.
That's right. Well,
Having
Brian, how
fun
long
is
have you worked at
mandatory.
Studio Classroom now about?
Altogether 5 years.
5 years. And then you have a new worker or staff member you're training in, and his name is Ryan. Is that right?
It is. You take the B off Brian, and you get Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit shorter there. Well, Ryan, do you think that it's fun to work with Brian?
Of course. Working with Brian, having fun is mandatory.
Oh, so that makes it fun. You're
You
all
have to.
Wow.
He's a quick learner.
You have no choice. You've got to have fun.
Well, that's a good thing for us at this new year because it's a serious time. The economy isn't so good all over the world. People have problems. But, you know, if you lighten up, life will be a lot easier.
You know, Doris, some of those things you mentioned are heavy topics. And sometimes when we think of something serious or sad, we call it heavy. So we've been using the phrase lighten up, which is, you know, light is the opposite of heavy. So that's maybe where that phrase came from. Don't think about those heavy topics, but just lighten up. Think of good things.
So this new book has come out that's called The Levity Effect, or the effect of not being so serious about everything. Are there some good effects from that, Hazel?
Oh, yeah. The bottom line is maybe your company will make more money. Probably because company morale will be higher. Perhaps creativity will be higher. And what else did it say? Teamwork might be better.
Communication.
And
everything.
communication. There were many things that said they had done a lot of research and that it was demonstrating that those things were true.
Well, in fact, I like the thing that we talked about yesterday on page 13 when we said one of the chapters in this book is 142 ways to have fun at work. That'll be a good chapter.
Yeah, we already have 141 things, so...
We need to have one more.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's get the book.
Can never have too
beat 'em.
many.
But, you know, one thing, some people have a boss who maybe is really kind of, you know, a little bit heavy. They don't like to have too much fun. So they might want to read this chapter on overcoming objections to levity.
Right. Some people want to have a good time and the boss says, no, I object. It has nothing to do with the office.
Get the work done.
Yeah, get your work done. But perhaps there are some ideas of, it shows why levity is a good idea.
Well, where are we going to start today? We're finishing up the speed review. Where are we going to start? What page?
We're going to start on page 14, where you see the number 7, and you can also see a kind of a humorous picture there.
Well, actually, that looks like my birthday card,
Oh, that was your birthday card.
And they made it look like an advanced magazine, and it sort of looks like me, and yet it doesn't.
It looks like a lady that I saw in a movie.
What movie was that?
The Devil Wears Prada?
Exactly, yeah. There was a very strict boss. Meryl Streep played the boss, and she was very strict and mean in that movie. And so they made you look like her, and you look a lot like her in this.
Well, especially since that's my face in there, but that's not my head. But I thought that was a pretty funny card. And a lot of people wouldn't want to give their boss a card like that. But at our company, that's what Studio Classroom gave me, was a birthday card that everybody signed, and it had this picture on the cover. Now, that's kind of a funny birthday card. How do you dare give that to your boss? My goodness.
I think they know that you like to laugh and that you would just think it was fun.
Well, that's not just a little tiny card. It's the whole size of a door of my office. And it was on the door of my office. And I left it up for a long time. And you know what? Everybody that walks by there and says, I'm the boss. And, you would think they would be afraid. But what did they do?
They
all
started
laugh.
laughing.
How come everybody laughs when they see that, Brian? I don't know. Did you laugh when you saw that?
Oh, yes, I did. And it's a good reminder that Doris, that you have your funny side, that you can laugh, and we can also, get our work done. But it's good to know that you are able to laugh at yourself once in a while.
Do you think once in a while? Do you think I laugh now and then?
Oh, you're a fun person, Doris, and you laugh a lot, and that's good.
But you want to see my chair there at my desk, and who's sitting there? The dog Buddy. And having a company dog brings levity to the workplace. So sometimes Buddy gets to come to the office for a little while, and he likes to sit in my chair and pretend like he's the boss.
Yeah, well, sometimes people get confused, I guess, too.
Well, Buddy listens very carefully. He doesn't say anything to your problems.
Buddy sent me an email last week.
Oh,
Is that right?
Well, Hazel's dog is on the other page, but Hazel, your dog has not got to sit at my desk yet.
No, my dog knows his place.
He knows
her
she's
place.
not the boss,
yeah,
right?
She's not the boss, but she enjoys coming here. She loves coming here. To her, it's a really fun place.
And she likes Buddy, too.
Yeah, she gets so excited when I'm going to bring her here and likes to run around and visit everybody and hopefully bring some joy to the office.
So if your boss is too serious, you can show him that picture, but don't tell him it's me. Make him guess, right? Do you think everybody will know that that's me or not?
I knew it was you.
Did you know that, Brian, when you saw it?
When I looked at the eyes for a while, I thought, yeah, that's Doris.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, in case you don't know, I didn't put my name on it, But that's on page 14, and that was my birthday card that everybody signed, but the size of the door of my office, I'm telling you, and everybody laughs. No matter who they are, they come in and they say, ha, 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 Doris is the boss, and they just laugh. So that means I'm not too serious, right?
Yeah, I think part of the reason, too, is it's because it's very opposite of you. In the movie, the lady was so mean, and you're not like that. So I think
I'm
we
glad
laugh
to know
because
that.
it's the opposite.
we laugh now and then.
Can I get more money now?
Yeah, well, you get your Chinese New Year bonus coming up, right? If you don't say the right things, it's bonus time. You got to look out that way on all that sort of thing,
Good timing.
Okay. Well, let's look here at page 14 where it says, "Take my boss, please." Let's read that first column.
Take my boss, please. Even those readers who swear they don't have a funny bone in their bodies will find comfort in Ghostic and Christopher's admonition that the levity effect is not so much about being funny as it is about being fun. Give your employees some rope. Enjoy the fun and humor they create. Don't sit in meetings furrowing your brow when employees are making light. Sit back and smile and remind yourself that the resulting effect of their making merry will be making money. The author's right that you don't have to be comedian Chris Rock to make the levity effect work. You just have to be willing to find opportunities to inject fun into the workday lives of your employees.
Take my boss, please. You might not know what that means, but there's an old joke that many Americans know. And when you say, take my boss, for example, if you're talking about a topic and you want to give an example, you would say, take my boss for an example. But here, they stop and say, take my boss. Please, take my boss. Just take her away. So it's kind of a play on words, and a lot of people that are familiar with American humor would know that. Probably a lot of people here don't realize that.
I would think a lot of people wouldn't know that. Right.
But anyway, it's an old joke. Take my wife. Please, take my wife. So that's where we get those lines there.
But even some people that they say they swear they don't have, or they just say, absolutely, I don't have a funny bone in my body. Now, what is a funny bone anyway?
It's the ability to be humorous.
Right. We don't really have a funny bone, but we say some people have a funny bone because they laugh at things easily. They have a funny streak or a funny part of them. But some people say, well, I don't have a funny bone. I don't see anything funny about things. But I wonder if it's all about that, because the people that wrote this book had something to say about that. What did they say about that?
Well, they said that the levity effect is not so much about being funny as it is about being fun, and that we should give the employees some rope.
Okay, that's a good idea. Now, you could say give somebody rope and they might hang themselves. That's not a good idea. That's another idiom.
Yeah, the idea, though, of giving someone enough rope, you get the idea of maybe having an animal on a leash, at least I do,
right.
Or having someone tied up or something, and they just have the limits are so tight, they can't do anything, they can't be free. And it's just saying if you give people more freedom, that they can accomplish these things,
right.
That they'll enjoy their job more.
So this is an admonition, and what is an admonition actually?
It's a piece of advice, kind of like a warning. You could also say maybe like a red flag, a warning for something.
Okay.
Different stuff
Giving
like that.
you some advice now. Okay. Giving you some advice. So even if you say, well, I'm just not the funny type. I'm the serious type. Don't expect me to be that way. But if people are too serious, sometimes they're not very much fun. Have you found that too, Brian?
Yeah, it becomes so serious that you're walking on eggshells, we say. You don't want to make the wrong move, and you're just controlling yourself and getting things done, but you're not
enjoying it.
You're not really enjoying it, yeah.
You can't be very creative that way.
That's right.
See, that's why Google and some of these companies let people have more rope, you could say, to do things that they want to, because they want to have more creativity. And they've certainly shown a lot of creativity, but they are not strict about everything. They let you have a little opportunity to do what you think you should do.
Well, and I think the author here has a good point. You can be, maybe you're not funny, but you can always be fun. Mm-hmm. So funny is when you're humorous, maybe you know how to tell jokes.
Hazel's funny.
You're funny too, Doris. Thank you. I love to hear that. But so funny, people laugh and things like that. But you can have fun even if you're not funny. Having fun is when you enjoy something, when you're having a good time. And sometimes you're hiking or doing something and having a good time, but not ha-ha-ha laughing.
No,
so,
enjoying it.
So even if you're not funny, you can still have fun.
Kind of just like a fun person to be around. Kind of like contagious, you could almost say.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like if someone likes to be around me, then maybe they have more fun when they're around me or something like that.
Right. If you are in a meeting and you're talking about something and everybody's joking a little bit, and you look up at the boss and they are furrowing their brow, that means their forehead, what's going on here? You look at them and all of a sudden, the atmosphere changes, doesn't it?
That's right. That's a scary way to look.
Yeah, furrowing your brow means there's those deep wrinkles in there, and usually either you're angry or you're confused. And so when you look at your boss and they're doing that,
you better be careful.
It's really tense.
But if you're that kind of a boss, this is good advice for you, some of you bosses out there, you supervisors. It says in line 25 that you should what?
Remember something. Remind yourself that the resulting effect of their making merry will be making money.
Okay, so the bosses want to make more money, so let your employees be a little freer, and perhaps your company will last longer, your employees will stay longer, And you might make more profits because that's what we found out. Those on the Fortune 100, that's what happens. They have more fun.
Yeah, give them some rope and make more money.
That's true. Well, you don't have to be a comedian. Do you know who Chris Rock is? Any of you?
Chris Rock is a comedian. He's an actor. He's a very funny guy.
Okay, so, you don't have to be like a comedian like that to make the levity effect work. Levity effect means the results of making things a little bit lighter, the levity effect. What do you have to do, Brian?
You have to be willing to find opportunities to inject fun into your workplace. I like that, inject fun. You just find opportunities to laugh or to have a little break there once in a while.
I kind of like the idea they had yesterday. They said maybe the boss will just say, let's go out for ice cream or something. Now, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's lightening up, isn't it?
Maybe we
after
should do
this
that.
program, we could do that.
Good idea. When you inject something, you insert it or put it in. And I think of the word injection when the doctor gives you an injection.
That's no fun.
Oh, or a shot. I know.
Shots. Oh, I hated those as a kid. I used to
know.
run, scream.
So let's
But
not
that's-
use that word.
That's the word inject, to put something in there, And,
A quick fix, you could say.
yeah,
right?
so inject a little fun into the workday.
Well, let's read the very last paragraph, and then there's some things about being careful with jokes that are little words of advice to us. So let's finish the article now.
At times, the humorous asides that Ghostic and Christopher pepper throughout the levity effect can seem a bit stilted, as anything that tries to be funny takes that risk, but they provide useful insights into a subject often dismissed as too soft for the business world. But if lower turnover, increased creativity, and higher profitability are any indications of the upside of levity, work should be getting much more fun soon.
Okay, well, it's talking about this book, remember? And this book must have a lot of humorous asides. Brian, what do you think that means?
It's like a little funny story, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Or maybe the book doesn't continue from, directly, but it's got some little stories injected in there.
Well, it says that they pepper this effect. The pepper really makes things kind of hot.
Okay, yeah, and sometimes there's places with pepper and sometimes there's not. So throughout this book, there's all these asides, and it says, though, sometimes those can seem a bit stilted. What do you think that means?
That means the joke kind of just doesn't work.
Not that funny.
Yeah.
Right. That funny.
Okay, so, when you're trying to be funny, you have to take a risk, don't you?
And sometimes you're funny when you're not even trying to be funny.
That's the best way. And
do that a
sometimes
lot.
the opposite.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes you're trying to be funny and it's just stilted. It's just not working. And so you have to take that risk. Maybe their book is like that to some degree, but even so, it has useful insights that can be helpful.
Well, they said this book, gives you insights on a subject that people don't talk about in the business world. It might be too soft. Who wants to talk about lightening up your workload? That's a soft subject for business. Who would ever talk about that? But they're doing this because they think that it might make a big difference in people's businesses. So it is important, isn't it?
Right.
That's right.
Some people would dismiss it and say that's not important and we're not going to talk about it. I've been to some conferences and I've met people that actually go to businesses. It's their livelihood. It's what they do for a living, and try to talk about these things and try to get people in the company to lighten up and to have fun with each other.
You have?
Yeah, sure.
I bet that wasn't in Asia.
No, it wasn't. It was in the States, and the guy is really very funny, quite a comedian, like a public speaker, and he just kind of encourages people and inspires people to do a better job and to have more fun in the workplace.
Well, probably, in different places of the world, if you go to Germany, you have to have German humor. Asia, you have to have Asian humor. You probably better have somebody who knows the culture, too, because jokes are often very cultural. And even what's funny and what isn't funny is often cultural.
True. But, we have speakers come in almost every Friday, and there's a real variety. Some are just very inspiring and a lot of fun. They still do a good job, and you learn a lot, and some are not. Some are just a little bit, should I say, less humorous?
Dry.
More straightforward. It's right. So in any culture, I think you get those two.
That's true.
The spectrum, the full spectrum.
True. Well, the last sentence says here, if lower turnover, in other words, you don't have to train new people all the time, and increased creativity, boy, everybody's trying to do that to keep ahead, and making more money, higher profitability. These are indications of the upside of levity. And the upside of levity is?
The benefits of levity.
The positive side's right. So work should be getting much more fun soon after everybody reads this book. What do you think?
I hope so.
Right.
I hope so.
What do you think about this subject, Brian? Do you think it makes a difference in the workplace if people can be free to have a good time and kind of joke around a bit?
Oh, sure. I was just thinking that we spend the hours we spend in the office are almost sometimes more than the hours we spend at home, so it's important to feel comfortable and feel almost like a family.
That's true, right.
A funny family.
Funny family.
I suppose. Or at least a family that has fun together.
And having the dog come in there and sit there at the desk sometime, right? And even a poster like that, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, I think you like it, don't you?
Well, I think people should really be afraid when they see it, but instead they just laugh. So I'm a little disappointed, actually, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
I know one thing that I've always heard is there's kind of two philosophies as far as working, and there's love to work or work to live. And for me, working here, studio classroom in Asia, I found that I love to work here, and it makes the day go a lot faster.
Hey, let's have another one on that. Yeah, that's good. You love to work here, do you?
Good. Well, good. Take away his paycheck.
Boy,
he doesn't need it.
Oh, okay.
So give him a bonus.
He's
give
having
him a
fun.
bonus. He's having fun.
Oh, no, I think you just got my bonus.
Oh, okay.
But you do have to be careful with those jokes too. There's little words down here, and of course you can't be careful all the time. But it says here that you have to avoid humor that deals with very serious topics like people's religion or sometimes even politics. You don't dare joke too much. If you know everybody really well, you can do it, but you have to be careful. And the people you're speaking with might get hurt or feel you don't care about them. So you have to be a bit sensitive. It's easier to joke about yourself than it is other people.
One thing I find very fun to do at work is to practice my Chinese with staff.
And that's funny sometimes.
Yeah, if I say it wrong, then everyone laughs, and I learn. If I say it right, okay, then they say, okay, good job. So either way, it's fun.
So if somebody laughs at your English when you're practicing, just lighten up and just laugh too. Don't let it keep you from practicing, right?
It's true. Right. You'll learn better.
Well, let's have our skit for today, and then be sure and read this. Be careful with those jokes section too.
Welcome to another edition of What's Your Problem? The call-in mental health show where I, Dr. Gray, help you with life's challenges. My first caller is Patty from Pittsburgh.
Oh, hi, Dr. Gray. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure, Patty. So what's your problem?
My job. I hate it. Dr. Gray, it's just no fun at all. We just work, work, work. The whole atmosphere is so stilted, and people are quitting all the time because it's depressing. I want to quit.
Whoa, Patty. Don't go quitting your job just yet. Tell me a little bit about your workplace.
Well, it's a paperclip factory, Dr. Gray. All I do is count paper clips all day. 100 in each little box. Yesterday I put 99 in one box, and my boss gave me an admonition to count better.
That does sound a little severe.
The benchmarks are pretty severe because we just focus on the bottom line. All the management cares about is how many paper clips are in the boxes.
Have you asked your supervisor to give you some rope? Let you get creative with how you do your job.
How in the world can counting paper clips be creative, Dr. Gray?
Now, listen to me here a moment, Patty. Counting paper clips does sound pretty awful, but there are some things you can do to bring some levity to the job.
Such as?
Well, how about some music to set the mood? Not rock and roll music, but some nice classical music to calm everyone down. And maybe some team competition with a prize for the team that counts the most paper clips. That might harness some of the negative energy I see here.
Oh, well, those are some good ideas, Dr. Gray. I'll ask about them tomorrow. Thanks.
You're welcome, Patty, and good luck. Thanks for calling. What's your problem?
Well, what's your problem? That's the end of that little skit for the day. But
Yeah, her boss needs to lighten up.
He does need to lighten up. But remember, when you are making jokes, don't really hurt people's feelings. You have to be careful with that.
That's true. You have to be very sensitive.
You didn't get your feelings hurt because I said you're funny, did you, Hazel?
No, I
You like
liked that.
Okay.
If you read this list, you might think there's nothing funny left to say.
Well, that's true. You have to be very careful.
But you do have to be cautious what you say.
Right. And be sure that you have the confidence of people. If you have good communication, you have their trust, they're going to know what you mean, see? Mm-hmm. Right.
That's right.
Well, thank you for being with us, Brian and Ryan. What a nice combination here. And you'll come again sometime.
Definitely.
And have a good time in your job here at Studio Classroom, Cyber Village, and all of the things we do together at Studio Classroom, right?
All right,
Yeah.
as
Hey.
always.
Is it time to go get ice cream?
I thought you'd forget about that, Hazel. I guess we'll just have to go ahead and do that now.
Sounds good.
Since I'm the boss, I guess we better go do that. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I like chocolate.